Oh, okay.
Can
You guys should
hear
be able
us?
to hear us now. All right, we're going to restart all over again. All right, welcome to the first official live Q&A. We have 3 of the Iliad Directors. We've got me, Mohio, Gid, and Morgie.
Yay.
Hi. Okay, so we got a good thing they didn't hear what we said before. We got a couple of announcements to get out of the way. Hang on. Can they hear us? It doesn't.
Yeah, I can hear us. It's okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You guys in the chat can hear us, right?
Yeah. Let us know if we need to lower the volume on anything, mess with any settings, because just like this is a new thing for you guys for Iliad, it's a new thing for us when it comes to live streaming.
Want Gid to shut up because you guys understand. Very.
All right. So we have 2 major things to announce.
I'll let. Okay, go ahead and tackle the first one.
All right. So there's a little bit of delay, so we'll see you guys in a second. But unfortunately, I can turn that up. Unfortunately, we have a big announcement to make, actually. It's more of a sadder one, a sadder note, but we have to announce that Samtastic to Go, is no longer going to be the head of Iliad. For a bunch of personal reasons, he is not able to dedicate the time anymore. And he is stepping down as the head of the project and will now be just the visual director. He's going to try to help set that up so we can be good to go, but other than that, he's taking a less of a role in the project. In terms of the new head, the next person who's going to be making sure that everything's all A-okay, Sam himself personally...
I'd like to point out I have not heard who this is. Yes, I'm very excited.
Personally requested that Gid be the next person to lead Iliad. So Gid, yes. There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
You are now the head boy.
Okay, cool. Who knows if I'll actually be good. Okay, so cool. What's the second announcement?
Moving on. The second announcement that we have is that one more of a note of the status of the project itself. As some of you may have noticed, from time to time, we have referred to the fact that we have basically no animators, and it's true. We have one animator, and that being Sam.
Yeah.
So because
when it comes to animators, we had like one other in the server ever who did nothing. So yeah.
Yeah. So
and the thing about making an animated series is it has to be animated.
Yeah.
I know. A big shock. Thought that we're just gonna show slide cards the whole season. Sadly, no, it's not that easy.
No, it's not.
So almost like a call to arms for everyone else. If you know anybody that is an animator, we've been sending out requests and making posts to other places about this. But if you know anybody who's an animator, or if you're an animator and you're interested, we would be happy to have you join. So keep that in mind. All right. So
Oh, hey, it looks like we got Discord link. The Discord link. I just checked. That's the current one for Iliad. If you guys want to hop in, there it is in the chat. Really cool. Usually we have it in the video description, but we kind of messed up this time. We'll get it in when the stream's over.
Yep. So, with those two major announcements, well, thank you for that. With those two major announcements out of the way, we'll be moving on to the questions and answer section of today's live stream, the main portion. So,
now before you go spamming the chat with your questions, we do have some questions that were asked here on Discord first, and we're going to be taking a look at those. And when we get done with those, feel free to spam away.
All right.
All right.
So,
first questions are from Iliad.
Lego David.
Server member. Yeah, Lego David.
So
he's in the chat currently. Hi.
How's it going? So, first question.
Questions.
Yeah. So first question, I'll ask them and then Gid will answer them. First of which is, how far has the project got in terms of progress? Gid?
Could you repeat that, please?
How far has the project gotten in terms of progress?
But progress. What's that word? I don't believe I've heard that before.
I don't know.
I
think it's like I think it's French for like pasta or something. I don't know.
So
he's asking us how
I don't
much
know.
pasta we have.
To me, this term progress is like how much we've actually produced. So I think that's what that means. I had to look it up.
Wouldn't that be produce?
Maybe.
Productivity? Not sure. Well, the answer is yes. Yes, we have.
Very descriptive.
In a little more of a descriptive answer. So top nation. Okay, you guys ready for this? So script of episode 1 is done. We've been very honest about that. Episodes 2, 3, and 4 are actually currently being scripted, while episodes 5 through 8 are in the outline phase. So this is what we have so far in terms of the scripting department, and in the terms of the marking and rigging department, we basically have every Toa/Rahi rigged for the first couple of episodes.
There is, of course, a couple of Rahi that still need to be rigged, a couple more that need to be modeled, but those won't come in until later on, like episode
4, yeah.
Do they still need to be done?
Yes.
Yeah. Will they be in the next day? Probably not, because most of the mocks that we have were all made by one guy. The Toa were made by Sam, everything else mostly made by one guy, and he's no longer involved with the project. As you can see from the other pictures we posted before, they do a really good job.
Yep.
And we have one currently active Marcus. He's not super active, but he's trying. And other than that, we've got basically nobody. So if you think you're good at digital mocking, where you can literally break any rules, like look at these things. Look at that. The studs are attached sideways to the minifigure gun on the leg.
You can become.
We're not using crazy glue. We're using our imagination. If you think that you can do stuff like that and make it look really impressive, see about applying as a mockist.
And since
I'm really good at these pitch things.
And since it's related to the current question, can Akanisi, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. What about the Great Spirit robot? That is something we've not done and will probably not be done until very much later in the show. But that'll also be a very, very difficult model to tackle.
Oh, I should also note, we are not resizing Lego pieces.
Yes.
That is an absolute no-no. And when it comes to doing things like the like the Great Spirit robot, we're probably going to have to create it as its own model instead of trying to build Lego pieces, because that would take literal years to render one frame.
Yeah.
It could take literal years for the rest of the project. You don't want to push it that far.
So,
The 40 million tall robot. So
one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to keep progress, even if it's slow going. We try to make at least an ounce of project every day, and at least some almost major project a week or month. So we are trying, but yeah, we're basically
As much as that's worth.
we're basically waiting on trying to get some more visual people in, because that's where the show needs to go next. And that leads me to the next thing. Why does it take so long for the auditions to be reviewed? So originally, when we started the auditions, we actually had progress on storyboards and animation. But since then, not much progress has happened. So we are waiting until we are further down the line on episode 1 to be able to cast people. So once they're cast, they can immediately go on to recording the episode.
All right. Now, the third question. When do you hope to release the first episode? Tomorrow. No, it won't happen. I'd like it to. I'd like there to be a sudden massive burst of people come in here and do everything in the next 7 hours. Get it all done. We'll have it ready for tomorrow. Not going to happen. We're hoping to get it out as soon as possible, and that's really the best thing we can say. If we put a date on it, we're more likely to fail that date than we are to succeed.
Yeah, actually surprising when we, for whatever reason, the more specific we are on the date, the less likely we're to get it done. So we're great at production and efficiency.
Now, Dave, what's the fourth question?
Who was the first person to come up with the idea of Iliad, and what motivated him to start such a large-scale project that no one else has attempted before?
Sam.
Sam.
And he got bored and decided to do it.
Yeah, that's basically the gist of it. He's like, man, I'm bored. Oh, I like Bionicle. You want to know what? I've never seen a Bionicle TV show that's good. Let's make one.
yeah.
And that's basically
and
how
still
it
not
happened.
going to be good.
Well, Journey to One sent a wave of depression in the rest of the amount of the community. This nerd decided it'd be a good idea to do it again.
Exactly.
So, the next portion of the question, which aspect of the making of Iliad do you find the hardest and most challenging? I'll give this one to Gid and Morgie.
Gid, you go first.
Wow, okay, thanks. Hardest and most challenging. Probably the aspect of making Iliad I find the hardest, not necessarily the most challenging, but the hardest is getting people to do things. There's a lot of things that I personally can't contribute to. Like, I have no talent in animation whatsoever. And I know very, very little about rigging and modeling. So I'd be basically useless in those departments. The thing is, we've had a lot of people come and go through the work server who do absolutely nothing. They come in, they get the role, they get qualifications, and then they sit and take up time. And eventually it comes down to, are you going to help with the project, or are you just going to take up space? And at the end of the day, a lot of people just wanted to take up space. They wanted to contribute at first, but then they just stopped caring and never decided to say so. And it hurts a little bit to know that you don't really know who the people in the project are just going to decide to quit one day and hang around, switch off all the stuff. That there's stuff. And I say the most challenging part of Iliad is, since I'm PR guy, PR stuff, because you have to give people expectations without giving them expectations.
Yeah.
You have to communicate to people in the community that are really big figureheads as if you just met them like last week and you're pretty good buddies. You know, I don't keep a super duper professional status. When I have to, I will. But most of the time, I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Lovely weather we're having. And now and then questions come up. So how's that project doing? Oh, you know, this, that, the other. It's tricky. It gets done, but it's tricky. I talked long enough. Did Morky think of something to say?
I think the hardest and possibly most challenging is trying to make something of quality, but not taking too long to do it, because it's important to get things done in a timely manner. But for me personally, it's hard to make something of quality quickly unless I already have an idea. So yeah, that's my answer.
Good answers. The final portion of Lego David's question is, will the TTV channel be involved in this project somehow? I'll tackle this one. Unknown, and also unlikely. We do not have any current affiliation with the TTV channel or official affiliation, and we currently do not plan on them being involved in the project. Maybe at some point down the line.
And for whatever reason, they decide, hey, you know, we'd really be involved with this project.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be the first to know. Currently, there is no indication of any kind that they wish to cover a project that they know really nothing about. And no, I'm not complaining. That's their business.
Yep.
Whether or not they'll ever be involved with the project, if this ever kicks off, to some extent, I mean, it seems likely that they'll at least say, hey, let's talk about it on the podcast. Maybe that'll be it. Perfectly. Will they become super duper involved? Like, really, really involved? No, I do not believe that in the slightest. Could happen. Probably not.
All right. So the next set of questions is from Overlord. Number 1, what year of the Bionicle story will undergo the most change?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. There's a lot of... You can't really say for certain which year will go with the most change if we really don't entirely know what's happening in the future years.
Yeah.
Like, we can't tell you for certain what's going to be different about 2005 versus what's going to be different about 2001. 2001, there's going to be some differences, and they're going to be notable, but they're all going to, at least hope, line up with canon. That this could have occurred, it just isn't necessarily stated that it did, or it did in that way, or there's multiple different accounts stating that different variations of something occurred, and we chose one over the other. So, when you say which year is going to go under the most change, alteration, I don't know, probably
I can take that one.
know.
I think likely 2004 and 2005 of anything. And it has to do with the way the story is presented for the most part. it's presented very much in a series of like told flashback and told story. So it's one of the things that we want to slightly change how it's presented. So it's still, I think, tense in its own right instead of being just tense because it's like it's important or whatnot. But we wouldn't be able to give you any idea of what would be changed quite yet because that's still a little bit down the line. The second part of Overlord's question is what part are you the least excited about writing? So both most and least excited about writing. We can go Gid, Morgie, and then I'll finish.
This is what being the boss is like, huh? Okay. Most excited about. Well, honestly, I've had tons of different ideas for seasons that I will not be touching for a long while. So I had really big ideas about how to handle the Toa Nuva. Even bigger ideas about how to handle 2008. Major stuff that is like, oh, that takes it up level. That takes that particular tiny concept up to a different degree and it becomes cooler that way. Like, this is not a statement that will make it into Iliad. This is just my opinion currently. I was thinking for Antros in 2008, he's got those like big hook blades that are really, really short and actually don't look that good. To give him Kratos like chains so he can throw them and whip them around. That's a concept that will have no bearing whatsoever on what I'm doing right now. As for which one I'm the most excited to write, probably I've got really good attachments to 2007 with Notorial's death. Not like original fan base. Hang on just a second. It doesn't appear that they can hear us.
I'm editing things. It should be good. But we'll see in a couple seconds.
All right. I'd say probably 2006 because there's so much cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
The setting is so cool. The characters are so cool. The United are hideous, but the Paraka are cool. The whole concept of Massive Life is cool. Really, I think it's one of the best years, if not the best year for Bionicle. That's basically it.
Okay,
Morgie,
Morgie?
what do you think?
Well, I am most excited, I think, for the 2009 arc because I think there's a lot of stuff done that could have been done differently or better and could have been like changed slightly to make the whole atmosphere a little bit more interesting. So I think that'll be cool to write. And I don't know what I'm least excited for, so I'll have to get back on that.
And now, from the head writer of one of the head writers of the project. So what I would say I am the most excited for is definitely 2008 in the serials because there's so much going on and there's so much you can do with that. Even if you don't cover everything, there's just so much action, adventure, and fun that you can work with. Now, not what I would say least excited, but I guess most worried about is the Borak Cal arc. Because it is cool, but I think it definitely gets some bad reviews / press because of the fact it's just basically a copy of what just happened in the Borak arc. But not to say too much, but we're going to be doing something really cool with the Borak and the Borak Cal arc that I think will make each one distinctly different. For example, The Borak arc is mostly going to be like its main story thread is going to be basically like almost like a Lord of the Rings style escape, a la the Two Towers, where it's just the people of Rohan, I believe, are escaping to Helm's Deep, and they're trying to survive through tons of threats. That's basically kind of what would be like Borak. Well, the Borak Cal arc will almost be like this kind of like revenge story, in which case it's like the Toa are trying to get back at what just happened to them with their with their powers being stolen. So we're trying to, instead of it just being basically the same thing, we're going to try to put a different genre spin / theming around it so it overall works out.
Oh, here, I forgot to answer the second half of that question. Let's go ahead and cover it right now. The one I'm least excited about writing, and this is going to differ very differently with Morgan's opinion, 2009. I just think it's boring.
You're boring.
That is true. Okay? What are you gonna say? 2006?
I don't know.
Morgie is the least interested in writing the end credits.
I'm in charge of writing all the end credit scenes, so no, I'm not.
All right. We'll quickly address Petrus's question, which is, out of curiosity, how many animators are currently on the team? We mentioned this earlier. It's currently 1. And it stayed 1 since the question was asked. So while we haven't had an increase, we haven't decreased in the amount of animators we have. So I say that's progress.
That's still a good thing.
Nobody quit the project in the animation department.
Okay. Next up is Yetyo question. Will Iliad be more about the spiritual side of Bionicle or the sci-fi side? I'm not quite sure what you mean about spiritual or sci-fi side, but I'll take a swing at it. If what I'm thinking is correct, is like the spiritual side of Bionicle is all about how the religion of Madanui in the island, and how Madanui is the greatest and is basically a god revered among the Matoran and the Turaga on the island. But at the same time, there's also the sci-fi side of what's actually going on behind the scenes, is that even though Makuta is this evil guy who's destroying things, he's slowly not just taking over the island, he's slowly attempting to take over the whole universe. And it's interesting to see that go down at the same time. So we try to balance both of them, but it'll vary on the season. For example, season 1 will be very heavily spiritual because of the fact of just the way the concept stands. While, say, for example, season 2, which would be Metro Nui, would probably be more sci-fi, and that's just because of the fact they're in Metro Nui. But then as we go on, it mixes as you keep going on further. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So that, I believe, is all the questions we have from Discord. So
we've got one more thing.
We do? No, let me see.
Hey, Yetyo, do you need any help for website development? Well, no, not yet. And when you don't currently need a website because the series is going to air free on YouTube. But if we ever do need a website, we'll make sure to keep you in mind.
That's my department.
All right. So,
well, we keep you in mind because Morgie sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are all the questions, I think, now of the Discord. So we'll go through some of the questions that have not been answered before on the YouTube. Do you guys like Bionicle from Lego David?
No.
No.
Heck no, bro.
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
You realize the whole point of Bionicle Iliad is to slander the good name of Bionicle?
We're going to be changing genders. We're going to be having love love octagons. We're going to be having all kinds of
The
wacky.
Great Spirit Robot is gonna T-pose.
The Great Spirit Robot is going to be wearing a pink tutu, and he's going to have a wig on and a sign on his chest that says "Big Dum Dum."
Yep. And at the end of the day, Makuta, he's gonna flex and then rule the universe like a proud boyo. That's how it'll end.
Spoiler for season 1, I should mention, is that Gali dumps both Tahu and Kopaka, and they spiral off into a cycle of depression, and the team breaks up.
Yep.
Sorry to have spoiled season 1 for you, but that's how it goes.
All right. So let's see.
If you've got any questions, will this stream be archived? I don't believe it will be archived. I'm pretty sure it'll be put up for the whole.
I think that's what he means in terms of archive. It'll be accessible to people afterwards.
Let's see. Not seeing any other questions currently. If you've got any, let me know. Let us know. And for those of you on Discord, feel free to continue asking questions.
Oh, the big one. Okay.
What the heck is the question?
is asking, will there be romantic relationships in Iliad? So what we're gonna say is quoting. we are quoting Greg Farsty. Love is not canon. That is the truth of the matter. But you may see some references.
There is a bit of a difference here. We are not including romantic relationships. However, to say that love in any sort of sense is completely beyond Iliad is definitely not true. Like you have brotherly love among the Toa, love for the city of Metru Nui. You'll see some, I believe in the books, not in the comics, in the books, like, the Matoran form a Matoran Nui to storm into the Kametu Forge to take back Metru Nui. But no, we are not going to be having any romantic endeavors. There will be, however, a couple. I'm hearing some although
there will be some references because hashtag Mookie hashtag, or you can phrase it as Haku. Yeah.
No, there's definitely not any.
No, nothing. No love, no relationships, whatever.
What about Jaller and Holly having love? Well, you see, an old saying I like to call your fanfic is trash. Okay, so Coda, hi! Glad to see you on the stream. How far are you guys in development already? What's done by now? Well, if you look back into the part of the stream, we talked about where the script's at currently, modeling, animating stuff, where that's at currently. It's around, 15-minute mark?
Something like that. But, yeah, basically, we're basically set to start animating the first episode. We just need animators.
Right. We could use a few modelers as well because we don't have any of the environment.
That is true. Yet. That is true. Ooh, there was
a question posted by Ian Hawks that we apparently missed.
Oh yeah, how will switching mask powers be done? Like fading into a different mask or swapping them out entirely? Okay, so how it works is that they can store all their masks at the Suva, and then they can just have it come to them.
I should clarify, this is for the first season.
Yeah.
This changes later on.
So they will be able to they'll be able to switch their masks, and it'll I don't know if it'll fade into a different mask or it'll be like a swap out quickly. That would probably be something we decide further down the line and see which works better.
We might do something like a glow transition, swap us about a fade transition. What sound effects I play, we might do some kind of homage to the Von Newey online game with the sound effect included there. We wouldn't use it, we'd remake it. But yeah, a lot of people in the server, especially in leadership, have a lot of attachment to Von Newey online game. Of course, I don't play your stupid kid games. But
yeah, he plays real man games.
Yes,
right.
like Voyo Nui online game.
Exactly.
Next one is I think Tan reposted this one there's one by Lego David further up. I know you answered this before on Discord, but why aren't you guys reaching out to Verano and Token? Well, we've looked into it before, and there's no easy way to contact them. So we would like to respect that. If there's no easy way to contact them, it's by choice. So we're going to respect that, and unless they come to us, we're not going to be pestering them about it.
Yeah. Basically, we tried contacting them a lot, and we finally found a way to contact one of them, and he never got back to us. So if they're watching the stream, if they ever do watch the stream, guys, if you're interested, give us a call. We got email and Discord, and they're both really cool, I promise.
Mm-hmm. All right. Will Gally have woman sound? Gally will probably sound like a woman. Yes.
I hope that this question means, will you have a female voice actor for Golly?
I don't know. We could have a really good male voice actor who sounds very good, and we might cast them. But
if you get like a bass voice, give us a call. I might be doing all the female characters. Lego David's question: which character are you guys most excited for seeing animated?
Oh, the one who should not be our shadowy boy, the Shadow Stealer. Don't mention this in front of Kid, but he might be single-handedly the coolest guy. But yeah, like
what was that? I went deaf for just a second.
Shadow Stealer, I think, has really cool abilities, and we have. Back when we wanted to start at a different point in time with the series, we had a really cool idea of how to animate Shadow Stealer with this effect of him basically just melting into shadow almost, and then just like as shadows moving quickly along. Is good guy canon in any form? Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Are you planning to wait to upload the episodes till the season is done, or are you releasing episodes before that?
Originally, the concept was, let's get the whole season done before we get the episodes out. Well, it's going to be like 2035 if we do that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that we're going to get a few episodes done and then start releasing them.
Well,
now, that might not happen. We might release them as soon as it comes out, or we might release them as soon as the season's over. We don't know.
It'll, if anything, I think the best way to do it will probably be we'll finish an arc. That's the way we call them. We group up each season into separate arcs. We'll probably do the Toamata arc with arriving on the island, so facing Makuta. The first time we'll bunch that all together, and then we'll release those 4 episodes, probably something like bi-weekly or something. Don't quote me on that. But
we need a proper schedule for that.
That could be something that would be done.
Pohatu Nuva. How you doing, Pohatu? He and I have been friends for, 4 years now? Seems like it's been a little longer than that. He asks, is it possible to help without having any ability to edit / make quality videos and sound recording? Well, what do you plan to do? Like, you're saying I can't do editing, so can I help?
Yeah,
well,
it depends.
Know what you can do.
Yeah. If you're good with scripting or with modeling or with all sorts of different things you could probably help. And there are a bunch of different positions that aren't, I would say, like, major or commonly thought of that you could probably even assist in. There are constantly things that we need to help with. So if maybe later today you just post what you can do on the Discord site, we can talk about that there.
This next question by Tan Atkinsey. Now, this one, there's a really controversial statement that was made recently by Greg, of all people. And the question is, will the Gamatorans the only women? If so, will they be attractive? Now, I'm not sure what your definition of attractive is. They're going to look basically like all the other robot people on Dirt Island in the middle of the ocean. But will they be the only women? No. There's lots of different female characters in Bionicle Sudaka, who is a vortex. Most of the vortex are female, I think about it. But the very controversial statement that was made recently, and this, I want to clarify before I say it, has no effect on Iliad. We'll be telling things when we base it off the written canon so far. But Greg has recently confirmed that, yes, it is possible to have male Gamatoran and other Matoran be female. It's a bit shocking, but he revealed that, yes, it could have happened. It's possible. It's just not documented. And there was quite an uproar because people wanted to know, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Didn't they? Does my female Fire Toa and male God Toa become canon now? Greg, is love canon yet? So there's a whole debate regarding that.
And you might see maybe female Tamatoran, for example, or a male Gamatoran in the background, but because they don't have a huge role in the story, there wouldn't be any changes.
Currently has no differentiation between male and female. So if you see them in the background, it will never be mentioned. For all the hardcore canon fans who have stuck with the stuff all these years, don't worry. We're not going to go out and make this a gigantic deal or include it in the episode in any major way.
And for Sokoda, sorry, I believe that was on TTV, where he confirmed it.
Message boards.
Yeah. Back up a bit is Lego David asks, will there be cameo/references across the episodes? Yes. Yes. If it's one thing we like doing, it's spending more time on Easter eggs than actually writing the proper episode.
And don't you get me started on that one Matoran in the middle of Pokoro. We better not mention that or we're going to spoil the entire show.
Yeah. But hashtag souvenir Matoran, best Matoran, actually the true hero of the story. Okay.
Will there be cameos? Let's clarify as well. There will be too many cameos.
Yeah.
Way too many.
Yep. We have cameos all over the place. For example, I'm going to give you an idea for a cameo. In episode 1, we have a ton of side Matoran appearing. For example, like those in the Nog names, they don't have much of a role, but you'll see them. And in terms of references, we even have stuff as we have plans for stuff hidden in Matoran. We have plans for stuff that you can see in the background. So essentially, keep a lookout. There will constantly be references, constantly be cameos that you can find. So it'll be a lot of fun that you can do. We'll probably even try to really, really hide some. So see if you guys can find some of the more secret ones. Okay. Next up is...
Nothing currently.
All right. So if anybody wants to throw out a couple more questions. we can cover them.
I should take the chance to mention that this has been asked a couple times before we even announced the live stream. Kid, Sam, Mokyo, Morgie, everyone, where the heck is a Patreon? I want to support you with my cold hard cash. In fact, only one person said that they want to actually support us. Asking where's your Patreon? Everyone's doing it. And the thing is, we are really not concerned about making a budget. We're doing this because we want to. We have a budget of $0 and we're making squat. So
now
it's a Patreon, which we're looking into it. We are going to be doing it for the community. If you want to give us your money, that's great. What we really want to do is make a good show, have a fun time, and have a good community behind it. If enough people are like, the only way to do that is if I give you 2 cents a week, then sure.
I don't even think Patreon gives you that option, but yeah, it's not a high priority. And we also have the conviction of we don't want you, because of the way we work and how it takes forever for us to get anything done. We have this conviction of we don't want you to give us money if it's not guaranteed that we'll give you something out of it. So if a Patreon does pop, you'll probably see it closer towards the release of episode 1. Doesn't mean episode 1 will be coming out like next week or anything, but we want to be able to be sure that we can produce something for you guys before we accept anything.
Right. Michael David asks, how will Radaka look? Will she be...
Radaka...
Next question. Hey everyone, I must got here, so I'm sorry for the question I was already asked. But how many scenes have been finished for the project? What do you mean by scenes? Do you mean environment, animation, modeling, storyboards? No. We've got script for episode 1 completely finished, and a whole bunch of other scripts almost about to be, but no, we don't have a scene finished.
We'll be taking a couple more questions because we've got about 8-10 more minutes left, and then we'll wrap everything up. But
we'll probably go for a little
real question now: how closely will this follow the original plot? Not at all.
Yeah,
the main character is Souvenir Mator, and you will follow him as he journeys to save the planet from absolute destruction.
Yes, we're going to do like a Captain Planet reference. We summon the Toa, and then they turn into Takanuva. But we're going to see if we've got enough budget by then to hire Don Cheadle to play Takanuva.
Yep. All right. Next question. Who is your favorite Makuta? I can take this one first. I think in terms of just Makuta in general, I think Mizrix is my favorite Makuta. I just like the complexity he has. But I think in terms of pairing, my favorite pairing of Makuta has to be Pterodax and Mutrin. We have a bunch of scenes written out in the old script of just Pterodax and Mutran that work so well together. It's just amazing. We also really want to have a spin-off show sometime in the future, Terry and Muty, as they go along solving mysteries and saving the world from bad murderers. So keep a lookout for that.
Right. Well, Margie, you haven't spoken in a while. Have you got a favorite Makuta?
I don't know. I think maybe based purely on design and what could be done with the design if you want it to be adventurous enough is Krika. I think he could have a really cool design if it wasn't restricted by buildability with the sets, especially his pre-mutated form as well.
That's something to try out. As for my favorite Makuta, hands down, Pterodax. Best villain that Lego has ever produced, and in my opinion, one of the best written villains in all of media ever. He handled extremely well with the way he's portrayed, and there's a whole lot of his personality that's very heavily implied. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but we're going to be exploring that a little bit in 2007's arc.
And you'll even get hints to it, even in the first season. It'll be subtle, but it'll be there.
So keep your eyes peeled.
Both
I know it
Mateo,
hurts, but keep them peeled.
Potato, and Sakota asked, "Are there any voice actors you've already cast as some of the characters?" We have cast one person, and that is Strong.
He's the head of casting, and he's also the guy you heard in the announcement video.
Not only that, he's also our Tahu.
Yes. So if you're auditioning for Tahu, the role is taken. It's possible as well one of our members of the staff may also be voicing Gali, but it's undecided. Tomfoolery asks, "Do you ever appreciate my hard work?" And yeah, no. You are
like 3
like sweatshop slave. You will stay here and moderate all the little kiddos for the rest of your gosh darn life. Do you understand? That wrench next to your name means hard labor. Now get to it.
We'll beat you with it if you don't get back to work.
Okay. Will there be any Hero Factory cameos? What about a Slicers Throwbots cameo? Unlikely. There may be a reference, but no, it's unlikely there'll be cameos. Antraz Productions asks, "When do you think you will finish the first episode?" At least by 2035.
Yeah. That's a good end date.
Sakota states, "The real Bionicle spinoff I'd love to see is an Axon Butaka buddy cop show." I agree.
Let's not open up that can of worms. We'll end up talking about what we've been talking about for the last year.
Axon Ragnarok. That's the spinoff we want to make one day. Axon Ragnarok. Moving on. Who's better, Thanos or Pterodax?
Oh, Pterodax.
Pterodax.
Thanos.
Do I think Oh, get out of here, monkey.
He looks like a grape.
Fired. I'm your boss. You're fired.
I like grapes.
In terms of who has had better characterization in more media, I think Thanos. But I think Pterodax is a better villain overall, and I think we can go deep with Pterodax.
But Thanos looks like a grape, guys. Come on.
Yes,
Thanos has had most of his personality and what could be done with it explored in the comic series that made him who he is, the Infinity Gauntlet series. And there's really not much more you can expect. When you go because of Thanos, it means Infinity Gauntlet, kill half the universe, kind of a sadist, can be really deep, and he's super tough.
Yep.
Throw in the gauntlet, and you've got yourself a villain.
Yeah. Why does no one like Antros?
Okay, first of all, Antros ate all of the Cheetos. I was saving those Cheetos, and he drank all the chocolate milk.
I have a fun
fact. What am I supposed to do with my life now?
I have a fun fact about Antros. Antros was the second Bionicle set I got it at Walmart.
I thought you said it was a fun fact.
It is a fun fact. I got him at a Walmart.
Who was the first? Who was the first?
It was the one Voya Nui Matoran. He was red. I don't.
Yes, that boy. See, as we can confirm, there is a hierarchy of best characters. It's first Red Voya Nui guy, then Antros.
I don't remember his name. Here it should be.
It'd be a good time to ask. Mokio, what was your first Bionicle set?
What was my first Bionicle set? So my first Bionicle set actually was Valika.
Oh really?
Boy.
Here, hold on. Let me look this up.
My first Bionicle set was Conrack. I've been starting all long ago. I got that for Christmas.
I see.
Probably before it came out.
So
after that, I'm planning for my last Bionicle set to be good guy.
Of course,
Balta.
Makes sense.
That was
saving the best for last.
That was my first set. Was Balta.
Balta, cool. Balta is better than Antros, but then Antros comes close second. Is the confirmed list.
The next character down is probably also dark red. I'm thinking maybe Vakama or Dika.
And then my third set actually was Tahu Stars. I got that at a Shoppers Drug Mart.
Oh, okay. We can't trust your opinion now, Morgie. Get out of here.
Nope.
All right. So, will you ever explore Boda Magna? One day. One day is the hope.
One day is the hope, yes.
Will there be epic action sequences? Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
I
yes.
was thinking actually we do a card battle. Someone just like time for a game of Holy.
The one
Takuma just gets out like Pokemon cards. I left my shiny Charizard.
One of the things we spend the most time on actually is the action sequences, so that we can make sure in the script it's clear what's going on, we can keep the tension up, and that it's just fun. We take canon action sequences and we spice them up. We take them one level higher. Sometimes we even throw in non-canon action sequences, and we make those the same kind of just amazingness. One of the
we want the action sequences to be packed full. When you talk about characters being revealed or something that occurred, like let's say something monologue that had happened in all of 15 seconds, and it was cool, yeah, but we're making it really cool.
For example, in episode 2, we've remixed the Gali versus Terakava fight. It is the best fight we've made so far, hands down. It's amazing.
And there was a lot of debate and work put into that, and we pounded that thing constantly.
We probably
to make sure all the physics were spot on, all the camera angles are spot on, the movements, etc.
We debated for 2 days what the actual force output of the Terakava would be, and how that would affect both the Matoran, Turaga, and Gali. So, if that gives you an idea of how intense we are about making sure things make sense for the project, there you go. What do you plan to do with masks that have no canon version yet, like the Mask of Creation?
Bottle them if we need them.
Yeah,
we probably won't need the Mask of Creation since Artica is never shown. He may end up showing him some point.
No,
but
it is. He's shown.
He's shown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. There's a lot of masks like pre-mutation Makuta masks. What are you gonna do about those? Well, there's a nice fellow called QnA. You may have heard of him. He's a modeler who's mostly independent at this point. He's got a lot of hate from the community in the past, which I don't think is rightly deserved. That's my personal opinion. And he has been doing some fantastic jobs with the mask, and he's already said that he is completely open to us using them in the project if we wish to. Will we? Maybe. Will we make our own? Maybe. We really don't know at this point. It's too early to say.
We'll take a couple more questions. Will Yellow Rakshi be in the O3 storyline in some way? Don't know.
He's probably going to be like a cameo. You see like a whole bunch of other Rakshi, and then...
We'll leave it at that. But yeah.
We'll swap him out with Mononui now and then, so you can't tell the
difference. Is the Yellow Sand Terakava a thing? Yes. Did we design it? I think so.
It's going to be a very similar variation to the regular Terakava. That one just got to have some parts swapped around, different color scheme. There was a prototype of it that we developed. I don't know if it's still around. If we need it in the story, we'll develop it.
Yep. Will you include original Bionicle music in the episodes? I don't... So we will be writing our own music. Our own soundtrack. That we will be doing. I don't know if you mean like stuff like Hero or the Paraka rap. We will not be including those. We may have some references in our themes of our songs to them, but we will not outright use those songs to avoid copyright issues.
Hero mode in Bionicle Heroes uses a leitmotif as basically the entire theme, except for the part where it's born. We may include portions of that leitmotif to call reference to, but we've got to be really careful when calling references with music, because the people who wrote this music are still around, still doing their own things, and can very easily pick up the phone and drag us into court if they feel like it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of ground that has to be very carefully treaded in the music department.
No, it will be no old Paraka rap. I'll just say that. Moving on, I think this will be.
Haku is just trying to spite me here. You all should use Toho music. Okay, listen up. First of all, weeaboos, more like weeaboos, am I right?
Yeah, that's so funny.
Got
This will be the final question, I think, for today. Favorite characters out of any that exist in Bionicle?
Oh, boy. Now that is a question to end it on.
Because I have my answer.
All right.
I like, this is probably going to be a super common answer, but I really like Matoro.
Yeah,
Solely
no.
on the fact that he looks cool. And I like his personality too. And I think Takua also looks cool, but he kind of becomes a brat. Sort of, not really. I think Takua's role in the Matanui online game is really cool because he's just like a bystander. He's kind of the vessel of the storytelling, and it's just really cool to see things through his eyes.
Yep.
What do you think your favorite character, Mohia?
I feel like as I go through as I read through the lore and the story and all that stuff, I feel like my favorite changes at any given moment depending on what I'm writing about or what I'm reading about. But I think currently one of my favorite characters just definitely has to be the Shadowed One. I think he's cool. He's he's not as interesting as Pterodax, I don't think, but I feel like his potential can be so much greater with the fact that he's the next villain, basically, that was being set up in the storyline. So, I'll leave it there. Get.
Now, this might be just slightly controversial.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to encourage anything, but looking at the series as a whole, how it reflects on different characters, how their positions in the story fall, what could have been done, and what was done with them. Taking that all into account, my favorite character, not for set, not for looks, based on personality of the character, their placement in the story, and the importance they held with the implications, has to be, without a doubt, Solek.
I can't tell if you're joking.
And you may be thinking, Gid, you're just going on a meme, aren't you? What are you, a Solekian?
Oh no!
And I do not ally with the Solekians. But the reason I think that Solek is the best character, in my opinion, my favorite character, is that it implies so much by his presence. It implies so much by his personality. That the whole history of the MU is basically summed up in the Abmatoran existing.
That's a good answer.
And the culmination of the Abmatoran is Solek, because he acts like an innocent kid half the time. He knows he has a general idea what's going on, and it's very, very dangerous, but he still acts like a little kid about it. And I feel like that's more of an embodiment of Bionicle than any other character, is that this line is designed to speak to you as a kid. That's why so many of us got into this line when we were younger. Not just because it happened to come out at that time. Some of the people in the project, like Morgie, got into it much later.
Yep.
And I feel like all of Bionicle is culminated in Solek's existence. Not to say that Solek is the best character, per se. Definitely, by no means is he the best character. But I feel like he's an embodiment of what Bionicle was meant to be. Now that he has the entire canon behind him, and you've got the greatest threats that Toa ever faced, a band of some of the most powerful beings in the universe right there, toying with them. They could kill them at any moment, and still acting like a child, still acting like an innocent kid about it, because that's really what Bionicle is. It's a toy line for children. No matter how exaggerated it gets, it still speaks to us in that simplistic way. That's what I feel that Bionicle is, and that's what I feel that at the end of the day is the most important. And that's going to differ with the project. This will not be influencing what happens with the project, because there's more important things to be covered. And I'm promise you that's going to come up eventually. I'm going to make some kind of indication of that being a theme. It may be for all 5 minutes, but it's going to be present because I feel that that is extremely important. As for who the best character is, don't tell anyone. It's Sylvan Amator. Best character.
Yep, hands down. Agreed. Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably Tahu or something. I don't know. I mean, he's got the mask, and yeah. Wow, this has been a pretty good live stream.
No, it was good.
Much worse. Yeah. Thank you all for tolerating with us. Tolerating us and tolerating with us.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this live stream was a success. We'll probably have another one before too much longer, even if it's just another QnA. We might not have anything to say at that point, but we'll probably have another one before too long.
Yep.
When? Don't ask me when. I don't know anything. I had to figure out how to run a project now.
Yeah, you do that. And in the meantime, we will see you guys hopefully soon with something new, but who knows?
One more time, I'm going to have that link to the server be posted in the Discord chat. It'll work. Okay. Is it working? Why is it? Okay, Mohio, would you do that, please? It's not working for some reason.
Oh, yeah, give me a second.
Feel free to join the server, even if you don't really intend to do anything. There's no reason why you shouldn't join the fan server. It is boring. I mean, great. It's great. It's definitely very active. We can answer questions directly there. You can talk to other members in the community. We've got an announcement once every blue moon.
Yeah, once every blue moon is correct.
And I promise we are definitely not really awkward to talk to on Discord, especially not in the pod. I promise we're way more professional and fun to be around than right now. That's for certain.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you guys again. Bye-bye.
See you.
Buenos Vista.